can tell you it's real. Go ahead. We're live at the PDP Digital Media Team Studio. My name is Habiba Oyege Oyarekwa, your host on this program. And this edition, we are dedicating it to our Diaspora brothers and sisters based in Toronto, Canada, Edo sons and daughters. We have Isoke Ibierutoe. I hope I got that right, please. We have Basi Osagi, and of course, we have Professor Theophilus Osawe. All right, but before we start, I'm going to have to read out a bit of their profiles. So let me start with Isoke. Isoke is a mother, she's a wife, she's a public servant with the Ontario government of Canada. She's a filmmaker, an actor, a humanitarian activist, and of course, a community leader. She is the CEO of ISK Production and the producer of Complicated Lies, a movie that won the Best Female Producer in Rollywood Film Festival in Trinidad and Tobago and has been nominated in several countries across the globe. She also co-produced another movie titled When Love Hurts. Isoke is the CEO of Nigeria Canadian Settlement Center. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Theatre Arts from the University of Benin. And she is the current Vice President of Edo Diaspora Worldwide, Director of Finance, Diaspora Drive Nigeria, and of course the past Director of Research Theatre Arts Motion Picture Practitioners of Nigeria, Canada Chapter, and the past Regional Director of St. Maria Goretti Old Girls International, GOGI. She is a recipient of the Toronto International Nollywood Film Festival Achievement Award in Film and Acting. And of course, in June 2018, Isoke was appointed as the Eastern Canada Cultural Ambassador to the Edo State Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism, and Diaspora Affairs. Isoke, you have a very loaded CV. You are welcome to the program. Right, and then of course, Professor, he is in the Department of Community Services. I'm talking about Professor Theophilus Osawe, Seneca College at York University, Ontario, Canada. And of course, our dear brother, Basi Osagi. Basi joined the Toronto Police Service in June 1998 as a court officer assigned to the Ontario Superior Court as a member of the security team for judges, crown prosecutors, prisoners, and members of the public. He attended York University, Toronto, Canada, and graduated with a bachelor degree in business administration in 1999. He was hired as a police recruit in December 2000 and graduated from the Ontario Police College in April 2001. Was elevated to first-class police constable in May 2001 and then first-class police constable in 2004 and assigned to 32 Division. He has also served in the Street Violence Task Force Toronto, Anti-Violence Intervention Strategy, Human Resources Management, Background Investigation of Candidate, and of course as a detective in the Elite Homicide Squad. Was promoted to the rank of Sergeant and Detective in 2011, making him the highest ranking Nigerian-born police with the Toronto Police Service. Following his promotion, he was assigned to 12th Division, where he served as a road supervisor and a detective in the Criminal Investigation Bureau, responsible for divisional investigation of financial crimes, assault, youth violence, gun violence, frauds, domestic violence, sexual assaults, robberies, and other criminal offenses. And of course, Basi is here today because he's alive with what we are doing here in Nigeria, and he's coming to talk about the developmental strides of Godwin Obaseki. You are all welcome to the program.
Thank you. Can you read me?
Can you read me? Thank you so much. Okay, so let me start with Professor. Prof, what is your impression about the governor's first tenure in office?
Thank you very much for having me. I also would likely want to add that you know, I quite didn't provide my dossier to you earlier on, but I also want to add that in my previous capacity, I've also worked with the government of Ontario in the capacity of both a policy and project coordinator at the Ministry of Training Colleges and Universities, as well as a program advisor to the Office of the Fairness Commissioner here in Ontario, looking into internationally qualified professionals as well. But just let me quickly add, or let me quickly respond to the question that you've asked. It's very obvious, given the uncertainties in Nigeria, I want to say that the governor has done tremendously well, particularly given the challenges, the economic as well as social economic challenges that he has had to deal with coming into office. We know that Edo State is quite a challengeable state to govern, and to that effect, in my own opinion, I think that Governor Obaseki had done a tremendous job in boosting not just the economy, but also the social-cultural aspect of the state. I will like to say that the job he has done, particularly with the ministries, as well as the pensioner scheme as well, is tremendous and encouraging for other governors or state governors to follow. Given the achievement he has made in that stride as well.
Thank you very much. Now, Isoken, how would you rate the performance of the governor in the last 3 years and 10 months?
Thank you so much for that question. And if I'm to rate the wait-and-see governor, a man who has so much passion for his people, I will definitely give him 100 of 100.
Why would you give him 100 of 100?
When you look at politics and governance in Nigeria, I would say Governor Obaseki is one of those governors that is standing on his own as somebody that everyone is proud to be associated with. We the Edos and the diaspora, because of our vast experience and we know how things are done and should be done. We are 100% behind him because we know he's on the right track. He's putting all the right policies that will take the state to the next level. We see things happening in the diaspora. It's not by magic. It's not by coincidence. They do proper planning. They put in the right policies. Sometimes you see projects that are about to happen, say 2030. They start making so much noise. They're signing MOUs for those projects because this is how it is done. But for our people, it's a little bit different because that's not what they're used to. So for us in the diaspora, he has our vote 100% because we know he's doing the right thing.
Thank you very much. Now, let's go to Basi, our police officer's son that is based in Ontario. And of course, we know that you are a seasoned expert in community policing with about 20 years or over 20 years of policing experience. And we've been told that you are a recipient of over 16 awards, amongst which is, let me take a particular one, the recipient of the 2015 Black History Month Community Award by the then Ontario Premier, Dalton McGuinty. Now, how did you feel receiving that award? Tell us.
Well, I'd like to thank you again for having me. And also, I would like to congratulate what you do for our state in bringing out the positive contribution of our governor to our dear state, and for being fearless in your reporting. For me to receive that award is because of my community involvement. As you rightly read in my background, I'm probably the the most well-known Nigerian police born officer with Toronto Police, and I take pride in community work because without the community, the police cannot do their job. So my job, and not only as a Nigerian born Canadian, also I work in the community to bring everyone together so that we can bridge the gap between the police and our community. Because most crime is localized, just like what the governor is saying. The economic development of a state is localized. Most crime is localized. And if you do not work with the local community, you cannot solve the crime. So that has been my work. And most Nigerians in Toronto, either they know me personally or they know of me. I'm always available to them. I'm always available to help them out in terms of police and the citizen relationship. So in recognition of my contribution to the Toronto Police Service and to the Nigerian community in Canada, so that award was, I was nominated and I received that award. And I'm very thankful to God for giving me the opportunity. And also for the Canadian people and the Canadian government for creating an environment for a guy like me. I came here as a young man, went to high school, went to university, and given an opportunity to serve in such a great city. So I'm grateful, and that award was, why I received that award.
Okay, congratulations. Now, you were in the country last year. You came to Edo State. You have seen, you have seen the governor's developmental strides. So what do you have to say to Edo electorates when comparing what the governor has done with what obtains in Canada?
First thing I would say for the Edo people is to just wake up from our primitive belief, allegiance to somebody just because they are from our house, from our tribe. We have to wake up from that. And I will start by saying, for you to join the police officer, to be a police officer in Toronto, first question they ask you is, why do you want to become a police officer? Second question is, what have you done to achieve that goal? So when you look at our Governor Obaseki, he has the education, the training, and the experience to do what he's doing now. What is similar to what he's doing to what we have in Canada is that Obaseki is creating the enabling environment for youth to thrive. He started with the basic education. Because without education, you cannot grow your economy. Without a youth that is well trained, especially in modern technology, you cannot grow your economy. So I particularly like his Edo Best initiative, where he's sending tablets. I was in Benin, I saw it. So it's not like I'm one of those diaspora that they claim are being bamboozled or a victim of propaganda. I'm not one of those. I'm one of those that I come home all the time, and I saw this. Providing tablets and computer to headmasters, to school authorities, so that they can track attendance. They downloaded the workload for the student and able to teach them in a modern way. Even when I saw Benin Technical and saw the board where they teach, where you can Google and do, those are digital stuff. That's what Indians and other people are doing to uplift their people. So Obaseki is doing that. And I want Edo people to think about the future, not just their own pocket, not just the pocket of the few. What are we going to do about the children? My children are not home. They may never come to Nigeria. I hope they will come. But I have brothers, I have sisters, I have family members there who,
what do you mean you hope they will come? They must come to Nigeria.
Yeah. So, but they cannot come if we don't have someone like Obaseki that is building the groundwork for my children to come and then develop and then thrive. And the second thing I like about what Obaseki is doing is even the dogs and the tigers, and they have destroyed, caused harm to our people. As a police officer, I know what crime destroy a community. So for the governor to start collecting revenue the way he's doing now, not only has he increased the revenue collection, he has been able to cut out the violence associated with the revenue collection. So that is what people have to think about. And the third thing I like is the social plant. Without light, without electricity, you cannot grow your economy. Without light, without electricity. I was watching the debate last night. People talking about need to build a hospital, need to do that. You can't have a working hospital without lights, without steady power supply. You can't have a good education without steady power supply. The Osho plant will provide that and is working on it. For me, it doesn't matter how much money the government is investing on it, but I like Governor Obaseki because he has the personality.
Power plant.
He has the gravitas to bring foreign investors to the country. And that is why I support what he's doing, and I believe he's creating the enabling environment for our people to grow.
Thank you very much. All right. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we are going to be talking about diaspora and investments that will rate the government of Obaseki in his engagement with our diasporans, brothers and sisters. Stay with us.
Fellow Edo citizens, there is what we call snap and send. Snap whatever is happening, activities going on, quarrels going on, INEC, what they are doing, what the police is doing, what the army is doing, snap it. It's a hashtag, snap and send. As you snap and send, the results, everything will be cool. There's a center that will collate, that will monitor and follow up what is going on. Because this game is between you, your children and your future, and the bad ones. We know who they are. They know themselves. The bad are in few. They are in few. We are in majority. Defend your votes. Take your cameras. Record what is happening. The world is a world of technology now. God bless Edo State.
So, Prof, this question is for you. I said, with different packages to attract diaspora investment into the state, how would you rate the state government's engagement with its diaspora, and how can they be integrated for maximum impact so that they can contribute to the growth of Edo State?
Thank you again for having me on. It's interesting that you brought that particular question up because, you know, part of my doctoral work had to do with globalization and how you can integrate not just foreign knowledge power, but also foreign-based, you know, capacity to be able to develop your state. We live in an era where you cannot, you know, stand on your own to attract investment. What we've seen Governor Obaseki done so far is to go to the extent of trying to attract foreign investment into Edo State. Now, was this there before? I think most Edo State indigenes will be able to speak for themselves, given particularly what, you know, those of us in diaspora contribute on an annual basis to that state in particular. Now we can see other states like Lagos State, Cross River State, in terms of what they're doing to attract foreign investment. But we also know that in terms of population, in terms of numbers, Edo State has one of the highest number of indigenes living abroad. And I think the government has leveraged, the government of Godwin Obaseki has leveraged that in particular to be able to attract foreign investment and attract development to the state. Why do I say that? I particularly, for one, grew up in Benin City, not too far from the Benin Technical College or the Edo Technical College, Nuselu Lagos Road. I saw that particular technical college, you know, when it was at its peak. I also witnessed it when it was, you know, a shadow of his own self. What has the governor done so far? We can attest to what he has done by not just attracting foreign investment, but also attracting foreign capacity to be able to develop and bring back, you know, technical education to that state. And I think you can, you know, trace some of his activities back in his engagement with, you know, multinational or, you know, cultural organizations that lives in the global north, and most particularly in Europe, in the Western world, in terms of what he has done. And we've seen to some extent that his opponents have, you know, derided him for signing MOUs. But I also want to say that you cannot do, you know, businesses just by jumping to the front line. You have to first of all engage your partners to be able to understand the purpose of the business you want to strive, you want to develop in your state. What we've seen the governor done so far, I think, is an impressive thing. Not just engaging the capacity that is abroad or engaging Benins or Edolites in diaspora. He has also been able to tap into the knowledge base of Edos in diaspora. I can attest for one that I have friends and colleagues who have worked side by side with the governor in different capacity to be able to bring development to this state. And I think in light of that, the governor should be commended for what he has done. I particularly was in Nigeria as well last year, and I saw the impact that he has made so far, and I could attest to that. Again, some will argue, is that enough? Absolutely not, because given the tenure or given the timeline that he has, activities, it is obvious that have 4 years to complete, the job that he started. So in light of that, I think the governor has started a good thing, and I want to say that he should be given the opportunity to complete what he has started.
Thank you very much. Now, Isoken, this is for you. A number of landmark projects are set for commissioning, such as the Edo Modular Refinery and, of course, the Osiomo IPP. How do you think this would impact the local economy?
So much for that amazing question. First and foremost, when we have a refinery like that and the Osiomo electricity project, the first question we should be asking ourselves, who are the people that are going to be employed in these establishments? Of course, they are all going to be Edo indigenes. When we mean Edo indigenes, we shouldn't forget, because I've also seen them, people arguing that, oh, he's sourcing people out of state and giving them opportunity. I sound evil or Hausa or any of those names. Don't forget, Edo State, Edo State have been a state of hospitality. We are very, very receptive people, and I've had a lot of friends that are from other states that have lived in Edo, and we always attest to the fact that Edo has become home for them. So they work in Edo, they pay their taxes in Edo, they build their houses in Edo. So these are the same people that are also going to be employed in this place. So we don't want a situation where people begin to change the narrative and then begin to confuse our people by using such lines as, oh, the governor is bringing people out of the state to work in this establishment. We have other people living with us that are not bearing Edo names, and they are still going to be employed in this place. So at the end of the day, every Edo person, directly or indirectly, are all going to be benefiting from all these projects that we are in place. So we don't want a situation where people where our opposition or people out there get our people confused about the true situation of things on ground.
Thank you very much, Isoken. Now, Basi, now, what would you say are the key projects that have impressed you the most?
Just what I was saying earlier. One of the first things that actually impressed me most, I've talked about Edo Best, talked about the revenue collection. Another key thing was, a few years ago, I built a house in Benin. And when I asked for the CFO, I believe I was told I have to pay about 200,000 naira for it. I was shocked. This was about 2011. And then, so I felt it was too much money to pay. But now I'm hearing about the Governor Obaseki digital way of doing it. That it now cost about 50,000 naira. To me, that is probably one of the greatest achievements anybody could have done. Because when you look at most houses in Benin, most of them do not have CFO. And the governor have been able to restore that so that way everyone can have it. That to me, that is good. The other thing is that the government beneath industrial park, where they can develop young brain and young youth and young people so that they can bring different industrial aspects to come to Benin and invest, not only to bring people, but you have to develop the local content. So this industrial park is a good idea. And he cannot do, this is not something he can do in 4 years. The governor needs to come back, continue, build on what he has started, the industrial park, and it may not even finish during his time. It's something that we have to invest in for the future. So the governor needs to come back and continue that. We talk about the Gile Gile port. People will tell you it's all MOU, but I saw it on a TV the other time. I saw the police post. I saw that. Can you imagine if we can be able to have, we give the governor enough time and more years, we can have a seaport where we don't have to go to Lagos. We don't have to go everywhere. Can you imagine the amount of job that would create for our state? And like I said earlier, you cannot do any of this without a steady power supply. And the governor is 90% in completion of the power plant. And in all of this, though we talk about the things that he have done that impressed me, the most important thing that impressed me about him is his character. Character is everything. You cannot get this kind of job done without character. You cannot invite people to invest in your state if you don't have someone there, the governor, who have integrity, who is trusted, who people believe can get the job done. We don't want to go back to 20 years ago where we have people that have character issue, people you don't trust. So to me, the governor character, his education, and his network of friends, of businesses, is what is going to develop our state. And I believe, though I have mentioned the key things the governor have done, but the most important aspect that he brings to the table is his character, his experience, his education, and his calmness, and his network of people, his ability to bring everyone together. And I believe he deserves another 4 years if we are going to make our state grow.
Thank you very much. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll be talking about the Edo Innovative Hub. Stay with us.
I'm using this opportunity to introduce you to a hashtag. It's called hashtag #SnapAtSend. It is on Facebook. It is on Twitter. Whenever you see any incident starting from today till the day of election, and even during the election, during the collation, any incidents that you think is of interest to the political process, to the electionary process, snap and send. That's the hashtag. Once you have a photograph or a video clip of that incident, use hashtag snap and send. I say hashtag snap and send. Immediately you use that hashtag on it, forget it will go to the right place. Something will be done about it immediately. Hashtag snap and send. It's on Twitter, it's on Facebook. Thank you very much, my people.
All right, you're welcome back to the program. Now, I'm going to direct this question at Isoke. You know, in a lot of organizations, it is said that women are usually relegated to the background. They may be seen but not heard. Now, how would you say Obaseki has treated women in his government? Would you say he has done well by empowering women in his government, or he has fallen short of expectations?
Thank you so much, my dear sister. I'm so excited that you brought up this topic. And I can say categorically that when it comes to that aspect of bringing women into the forefront of governance, I will say Governor Obaseki has scored over 90% on that. When you look at the ministries and sectors that are doing amazingly well, for example, Edo Best, where who is the forefront of Adobe? Dr. Joan of Yahweh. That is a woman, and she came into government and transformed the entire face of education in Edo State and have taken Edo State to the next level, to the point that other states, state government, and even countries are now reaching out to the exactly what to do and how to copy. They did not say, tell us how to copy Adobe, because they've seen it work and they are very, very excited about that. Then you look at another sector. You see people like Mrs. Ukinebo there. So many other women that we can, keep going on and on, that Governor Obaseki brought into government, and they have been doing amazingly well. So for the women folks, I say we salute him. We are excited about his approach of governance, and we commend his trust. We commend him for having the belief and trusting Edo women to be part of his administration, and believing that we can do extremely well.
Thank you very much, Isake. All right, now, Prof, I will direct this question to you and Basi. A lot, has been happening at the Edo Creative Hub. How do you think the support to the creative sector would boost economic activities in the state? That is, given the current realities.
That's a very interesting question, because if we recall, I said earlier on, we live in a globalized world, and even culture has become globalized in itself. Particularly if you look at the origin of Edo State or the Edo people in itself, you can tell that we've thrived for over 200 years on the culture that we give and the culture that we have. Particularly if you look at the artifacts of the Benin Kingdom itself, it's in itself a renowned source of income, or a renowned source of treasure or relevance to Edo State. Now, we know that the governor is doing everything possible to bring about cultural development, as also as an economic empowerment to the people. I take you back to so many years past, in the days of Dr. Herbert Ogunde, from the Western region, when he was producing films and selling to the world. Now we have the opportunity of having social media platforms or YouTube, where you can showcase some of our traditional movies or some of our culture on the global stage. What the governor has done, or what he's doing to promote and encourage economic growth, not just for entertainers or artists in the state. He has also done so well by creating a hub that will bring these activities together. Particularly if you look at the importance of the influence of Edo people, Diaspora. We know that culture speaks for us. So starting the beads our women wear, or from the beads that our chiefs wear, up to the rulers of the kingdom. The only way, and I keep saying, and I've said over and over again, that if you look closely at Edo State, we know that Edo State is a civil service state. And how can we grow? How can we expand the opportunities, Edolites, in terms of opportunities for artists locally assessed and trained in our job? One way the governor is doing what I think is right is by creating what he already done and bringing this artists to the platform. Edo artists and cultural performers, Edo artists around the globe. I was particularly impressed, watching a movie some time ago that is called The Black Panther, and one of the artifacts from Edo State was referenced there. I was a Benin man in a theater crowded by white people, and you can imagine how elated I am. Now, step back a little bit and ask yourself, what can the governor do much more by providing a platform and a stage, more so a hub that will harness these activities, these talents, and the culture within Edo State. I think if we go that direction, like I said, It will not only boost Edo State culturally and socially, it will also boost Edo State economically. Particularly, if you look at the young men and women, particularly young Bini boys and girls who are growing up in the state, understanding the importance of culture, understanding the importance of our values, particularly in a really global world where we've been infiltrated with Western culture. I think if the governor can showcase that and put that on the platform of what he has done and what he's still to do, I just think that 4 years is not enough for him to do that. And there's a possibility that it will empower Edo State, not just the youth, but empower Edo State culture.
Thank you very much. Now, Basi, how do you think the support to the creative sector would boost economic growth given the current realities?
Just imagine if we had a man, Governor like Obaseki, 20 years ago. Just imagine where we will be now. A governor that is providing a hub for training on digital science, artificial intelligence, even robotic, engineering, digital marketing. And that is what we need in this modern world, in these modern days. And that is an innovation. And with the Benin have the greater number of diaspora in Nigeria. And once that hub is really become more effective and more usage, we in diaspora can provide a lot to support that hub, can provide a lot to help our people. But without a centralized hub like that, it might be a little bit difficult to coordinate things. That's what I like about what Obaseki is doing, is to just, I know Prof have touched on most of the things, but the only thing I want to add to it is that here in Canada, most trade people that learn trade, make more money than even the educated ones. A hub like that, and the Benin, and also the Benin Technical School, you can have a plumber, you can have a digital engineer, you can have a robotic engineer, and the future is very promising for our youth. And that is why we need Obaseki to continue. Because the other side, the people that want to take over from him don't have the capacity. They do not have the network. They do not have the education. They do not have the ability to do the thing the governor is doing. And most importantly, like I said earlier, the people that want to take over power from him, they do have the character. And that is very important. So the hub, in Toronto, we have hub here. Most communities in Canada have a hub where young people and different offices and learn different, can go there for information. It might be a campus school, a technology. We have a hub. Every community here in Toronto have a hub people can go. And that's what I was really impressed about it, which is showing that obviously he's in tune with the modern development.
Thank you very much.
Now, Isoken, you are in the entertainment industry, and you are an award-winning producer. So how do you think there can be a synergy between your organization and, of course, the Edo State government to help take a lot of our youths off the streets and make them to be creative?
Thank you so much for that amazing question. And I would like to quickly say, the movie Complicated Lies that won award in Trinidad and just won another award. I think that was last week or 2 weeks, because that is my own way of giving back to my people. That is my own way of, creating some form of employment for my people. Each time I'm in Benin and I'm shooting, from the akara seller on the roadside, to the guy selling charge cards, to the taxi driver, so everybody benefits when projects are being brought to Benin. Because in the morning we're going to set, we stop by the roadside to get our akara and bread. So that akara woman by the roadside is benefiting from my money. That's the recharge card person is benefiting when my cast and crew, they are buying charge car. The hotel where my cast and crew, where they're staying during that period, the hoteler is making money from that particular project that is being brought into the state. I know that sometimes people say, oh, the governor, I heard this argument that the governor, oh, when people come and there's an event and you have the host, you have a lot of the hosts just helping out throughout the event, that the governor is counting that as employment. I will hold them to that and say, yes, it is employment. Because here in Canada, where I live, my non-for-profit organization that I run, the Nigerian Canadian Resettlement Center, we do have a program called the summer program. During that summer program, most times is it's during the holidays when university students and college students, they are home for the break. The government encourages us. They actually give you grants to employ those students during that period, so that these students have an opportunity to make money and also to take them out of the streets. At that time, they're busy. They're doing something creative with their lives. So when I hear people say there's an opportunity for employment to be created for the youth for a period of a month, 2 months, 3 months, oh, you don't count that as an employment. I laugh, because even in the Western world, they do count everything as employment. And for we when I project people, that's 3 months that we are in Benin filming. We've just created employment. We have created employment for the youth at that time. So we take them off the street during that period, because when you are on set, you're feeding, you're clothing, and you're feeding them, you're housing, providing accommodation. So most times you keep the youth engaged with all those jobs that are coming in. It doesn't matter if you're looking for a consistent, permanent job. Here we also encourage part-time jobs. We encourage part-time jobs in the diaspora a lot. So I don't see anything wrong when the governor engages to create jobs, even if it's a temporary job, but you're getting the youth off the street. For me, I am excited about always bringing my project to Benin, because I have seen the governor. The governor is a serious-minded governor, a governor that wants to bring employment for his people. So he creates that enabling environment. Came to myself just to encourage the people and say, you, what you're doing, bringing jobs to Edo State, because what you're doing here, you have everybody on set, you have millions of naira pumped into this project. We salute you, because this money is being spent in Edo State. And if there's any way the governor can be of any assistance, we are here to support you. So for me, that alone was amazing. I really, really value that. Just knowing that the government of the day understands what partnership is, and he's doing everything to make sure that he creates that enabling environment. Like African Magic has been in Benin for a couple of months now, shooting. And who are they employing? Who are they getting on? Our local Edo artists. So it is through the help of the governor that this particular project was brought to the state. So I applaud the governor, and for me, that's my area, and I'm really always excited to work with the governor that knows what he's doing. So I think the governor needs an opportunity, a second term, to actually set the ball rolling, because we have seen it over time that when each government leaves, the incoming government never continue with their project. So we want a situation where everything the governor has put in place must be well solidified so that when the next person is coming, it's just like a springboard for them to kick off.
Thank you very much. Now, Basi, you know, when I was reading through your CV, it was said that you have served as a road supervisor and a detective in the Criminal Investigation Bureau responsible for divisional investigation of financial crimes, assault, youth violence, gun violence, fraud, domestic violence, robberies, and of course, other criminal offenses. Election is just around the corner. And there is this fear that is pervading the air that there is going to be violence on election day. Now, as a police officer, what will you say to the electorate to encourage them to come out and exercise their civic responsibility?
I will lay election violence and election malpractices. I will lay squarely on the of the law enforcement, because the Nigerian police have demonstrated enough that they can prevent violence during election. And I hope I was just reading on the news that they are sending about 31,000 officers to Benin. I think that is overkill, and I just hope our people are not intimidated by these deployment and by these officers. What I would tell our people is to be law-abiding. Make sure you observe the pandemic, the mask and everything, and make sure you stay home before the election day, and just just go by the law. But if I have to compare it to the way we do election here, election in Canada, we do not send police officers to the polling booth. We do not send police officers to escort the ballot boxes. So we don't do those things. I think the reason why in Nigeria that happens is because in the past, there have been no consequences for people that break election laws. If you do not arrest people, and if you do not persecute, how do you serve a deterrent? If what happened in Kogi State a couple of years ago, or what happened in 2019, if those people were punished, or if they were arrested, we will not be discussing about election violence now, trust me, because when criminals or people that intend to commit crime, the first thing they think about is the consequences. I'll give you a very good example that was given to me at the police college years ago. They said the people of the community that we serve, traffic lights, they obey the stop sign. You know why? Not because they are so much law-abiding citizens, because they don't know if there's a police officer on the other side that is going to stop them and arrest them. So it's because of that fear of the consequences of running a stop sign or a stop light, that is why people don't commit crime. So until the Nigerian police or all the law enforcement wake up and start taking election violence seriously or start punishing people for doing the bad thing, we're going to have problems with our election. But this is our state. This is Edo State. I believe Governor Obaseki have shown that he's a law-abiding citizen, he's a man of good character. I think the people of Benin should copy him in what they do. But I also want to make sure I say it here that we in the diaspora, we are not victims of propaganda. We are watching to see what's going on. We hold the Nigerian government accountable for any election violence in Benin. We will hold the actors, those people that are supporting the lions and the tigers. We are going to hold them accountable. We are going to be speaking to our Canadian government. We are going to be giving names of people that want to destabilize our state. But my message is the Nigerian police must live above board. They must obey their oath and prevent election violence. The best thing to do, I mean, when we do community policing, your best bet is crime prevention. By the time you're arresting people for crime, it's a general belief that because you have failed. So what the police should be doing now is patrol, but not intimidation. Patrol the street to make sure the criminals are not up to no good, and then just stay back and obey. For our people, please don't be intimidated. Go out and vote. We are watching. We will hold them accountable. We, the Benin's in diaspora, we have all professions. I have my brothers and sisters from Benin in the United States, that U.S. Army, Colonel, Captain. We have some of them in the police force. We have a WhatsApp group that we talk. We are watching, and we will hold the Nigerian government accountable. And those people that are perpetrating violence on our people, we will also hold them accountable for what they do to our state. For our people, I would say, vote your conscience and law abide. And that's what we do in Canada. We go, we vote, and we come home. And you don't take it personal, because election will come and go, but your relationship is forever. That's what we should think about. I think we should move away from this primitive or the thinking that, oh, because you are for APC and you are PDP, we are no longer friends. Our political affiliation should not cause trouble. It should make us grow. But at the same time, we have to vote for something that's good for us. So that will be my take on it.
Thank you very much. All right, now, Prof, this one is for you. And on a scale of 10, how would you rate Governor Godswin Obaseki's performance, and why such rating?
It's interesting you're asking a professor to rate a sitting governor. Particularly, I am very, very, strict and logical when it comes to grading, as you may know. But to be candid, I think no one is perfect. He has some work to do. In light of that, I will always grade him as an A, because he has done many things that surpass our imagination. I believe it. I know your question initially was on, the innovative hub or the Do Innovate program that the government has put in place. And I spoke to the cultural aspect of it, and my brother Basi spoke to the technological aspect of it. And I was glad that my sister Isoken was able to cap it up with her own personal experience. Just so you know, I said earlier on, as part of my initial bio, that I had worked for the Ministry of Training Colleges and Universities here in the capacity of a policy and program coordinator. And it takes when the government begins to look into the areas of creating jobs for its citizens. I particularly think that the Edo jobs, in addition to other programs that the government has put in place, is a testament of the kind of work that you will find governments in developed countries are doing. But the question is, are our people ready for the kind of innovation that Governor Obaseki is bringing to town? I think that's where we have this dichotomy between the lions and the tigers and the educated and disciplined ones in our society. I'll take a string from what my brother Basi said. I do not think that election should be a do or die affair. I personally believe that if you want to grade the governor, grade him on what he has done. Look at what he has done and what he's still going to do. And in light of that, my own position to be able to grade the governor as an 85 candidate, or as an 85% candidate in the work he has done so far. Now, that said, is there room for him to do more? Absolutely. You can only encourage students when you grade them that there is room for you to expand what you've done originally, for you to become much better in the future, become much better in what you want to do. But most importantly, grades aside, we need to look at the state of Edo State today. The question we want to ask ourselves, is Edo State better off than it was 8 years ago? Is Edo State better off than it was 4 years ago? Well, we understood very well now what the previous government under Comrade Shomole offered to us, and what Governor Obaseki has offered to us in the last 4 years. Now, I want to ask my people to make that comparison and come to the realization that sometimes it's not about grade, it is about how a particular government affects the bottom line. How does it affect your pocket? And I could tell, listening to the governor yesterday in their debate, he was very eloquent in proposing or providing his statistics and his records, creating 157,000 jobs, putting a stop to the illegal migration of many young women to Europe. But not only that, creating and innovating the educational system in Edo State. I just want to piggyback on something my brother Basi said earlier on. Last year, I was in Edo State as well, doing a kind of a research work for a period of time. And for the very first time, I went into the Edo State licensing office. And to my greatest surprise, I used to think that it's something you would normally queue up and there would be touts around the corner trying to, pick a penny or two from you. But interestingly, I was told by the young man who attended to me that, let me say it, I said it in Bini, that we have a different governor, and that I don't have to pay anybody on the side to get my license done for me or my plate renewal done for me. What I have to do is walk into the office, pay directly to the government post, and my certificate or my license plates renewal will be given to me. Those are little things. Those are little measures or metrics you can use to determine the performance of a sitting governor. And so, to that end, I think migrating him an A, it's quite reasonable given the work he's done. And that's why I said earlier on that, is there room for him to improve? Absolutely. And I think that room will be another 4 years for him to do just that.
Thank you very much, Prof. With that, we've come to the end of today's edition of the program. We would like to say a big thank you to our sister, Isoken, the CEO of ISK Production and Nigeria Canadian Resettlement Center, Toronto, which is, of course, a non-profit organization, film actor, an award-winning director, and, of course, a producer. Thank you, my sister, Isoken, for coming on the program. And Professor Theophilus Osawe is in the Department of Community Service, Seneca College at York University, Ontario, Canada. Thank you so very much for joining us on the program. And our son also, Sergeant Detective Basi Osagi, who is busy sustaining the relationship between the Toronto Police Service and, of course, various communities, thereby doing us proud. Thank you very much for coming on the program. And like he has said, elections will come and go. Do not burn the bridges that you have built over the years. We are law-abiding citizens. My name is Habiba Oyege Oyarekwa. Thank you for watching.